What up? So last time I was having radiator problems, not specifically with my radiator, but the radiator hose. So stopped by AutoZone and picked up a hose. They're actually pretty nice there, like how I was saying. The guy just gave me it for free. It was about 1.5 feet of the hose, but we both weren't really sure like what gauge it was, so it was kind of if it fits, then you can have it just for free. It's basically just scraps. It was the end of the roll, I guess. So I got back to my dorm. I finished class. At the end of class, I actually sold my iPod. Need a little extra cash to get it all, but not necessarily after I got the money loaned to me. So I was actually thinking of, well, just how I noticed that, I'm not sure if it's true, but I read a couple articles that iPods are going to be discontinued in manufacturing, so I thought I might as well just get rid of it now while the prices are still high and get something, maybe some kind of Android device. I mean, I don't have a phone, just because I don't really use the phone enough to pay for it. I just use an iPod and texting, some kind of texting app. So I'm not going to get an iPhone just because I don't have a phone service provider. And I know if I did get it, then I wouldn't be off. I would just be constantly on it, just reading articles and stuff. With the iPod, I was just constantly playing games, basically wasting time. So I sold that. So now I'm thinking, well, even though I'm saying a game too much on it, I was thinking about getting maybe a small tablet, something I could fit into my gas tank bag, basically for music. That's one thing I forgot, is that's my music device. So without that, I'm kind of, and I was just heading to the gym right now, just forgot about that. It's kind of my music device, so it's going to be a little bit boring in the gym today. I actually sold it yesterday. So I'm kind of having a little bit of withdrawals. I mean, not gaming, I'm just constantly gaming on there. I usually play like Trials Fusion. It's like a dirt bike game. It's pretty fun. So yeah, I was going to try to get something that's not going to be, well, I like Apple products just because it organizes my music really well. So I mean, maybe I might just get an iPhone, but have it just a SIM card in there. Maybe unlock it so that I can just do the same exact features that an iPod does, but without service, of course. That might be my last thing, my last resort. Well, maybe my first resort, just because I like the organization of the music with Apple products. It's either that or a tablet, but I also heard that the tablets are being discontinued, so I'm not really sure. I think my best bet is to get maybe, what is it, iPhone 6 now, or iPhone 7, I'm not sure. I think it's 6, just unlocking everything. I raised my idle, was it last night? Yeah, last night, because I noticed that I had too much oil. It was just fluctuating really weird. So my idle switch is a little high. I gotta lower it. I'm gonna lower it right now. Just a tad bit. Should be good now. But anyways, back to the radiator hose. So it was a bit difficult to get to my old one that was punctured. But I got to that, I had to take out, well, not take out, but I had to remove, not totally remove, but get out of the way the vacuum that pulls the gas through. I had to move that out of the way. Got to the clips. I'm not sure what they are. Phillips or flathead that we twist and it's just like a ring. Got to those clips, took it out. It was like really badly worn. Just making sure that it's still good. Right now, it's not leaking or anything. I don't feel any leaking. So I got that out, measured it to about the same length, just a tiny bit longer. It actually fit. I had to stretch it out a little bit, put some WD in there, lube it, got it back on. Now it's running nice. Might need gas. Yeah, I think I need gas. Yeah, I just switched to reserve. Guess it's dying. Anyways, I got the new hose on. Tight fit, good fit, good length. Got it tightened. Damn it. Got it tight on there. No leak so far. This is basically my first ride though. I took it around the parking lot a few times, a few laps, to see if it would leak. Didn't leak, no leaks at all. Cap not leaking either, which is good. Usually the cap will leak. So I'll see when I park. When we get to the gym, see how it is. I mean, I don't feel anything, so I'm assuming it's good fit. I don't want to jinx it now and say everything's fine, but for right now, everything is good. No problems. I should be getting in the new part this week, hopefully. My spring break is next week, so hopefully they come into this week. Because if they don't, then I'm going to have to wait until after spring break. I don't think mail comes during spring break, which sucks. Oh yeah, and then when I was changing out the hose, I did notice that I had too much oil in there in the engine, so I let some out. Should probably fill up. Today's my tutoring day, so I usually head to the gym. After the gym, head to my friend's house, help him with math. That's how I'll always remember when I got my ticket. It was my tutoring day. At night down here, it's not much to do. There's not much to see. It's not much to see. There's not much to do. Basically, gym. It's kind of sad, but all the kids out here just go to Walmart for fun. Basically, that's the hangout place. But if I'm bored, I'll just hit the gym. I actually gotta lower my idle again because it's still too high. Actually smelling coolant. I hope it's just the leftover coolant that was on the engine. Check it out, and I'll see when I'm back on the road. Good workout. So I looked at the radiator hose. It's doing good. No leaks or anything. Jesus, spent almost an hour in there. I've been kind kind of putting off going to the gym. Not really a New Year's resolution or anything. I just noticed that I put on a few pounds during last semester. Just kind of been lounging around. So I'm going to go ahead and put some gas in. I know I'm already on reserve. So that's good. There's no leaks. No leaks from the cap. No leaks from the hose, the new hose. It's a cheap fix. That's one thing I do like doing my own, it's not really much, but I like to do my own work on my bike. Just because, well, it's fun. I like doing it just for fun. But also, it saves a lot of money. I mean, getting that repaired probably would have cost a stupid amount. I don't really know. I've never really had to get any repairs done. When I first got my first bike, the Kawasaki, I really didn't know anything about engines, let alone bikes. Well, the other way around. I didn't know anything about bikes, let alone engines. So I didn't know, and there were some problems, but I didn't know how to assess them. I mean, I wasn't really familiar with any of that kind of stuff. I mostly work on computers, electronics, so it was a learning experience. Yeah, there were some trial and errors, but eventually I got most of it down, know where parts are located. I would say that I excelled pretty quick. I help other bikers out when they're stranded. Yeah, it was just a week ago, this guy, I was coming back from Phoenix, and I'm not sure if I told you guys. I was coming back from Phoenix, but I was with my friend in my friend's truck, so I wasn't riding the bike at that time. But he was on the other guy was on the freeway, or the highway. Well, it merges into the freeway, so it was the freeway at that point, and his clutch broke. Well, not the clutch handle, but the actual clutch pedal broke off. It was a not too old, maybe late 90s Honda Rebel. It was a pretty cool bike. I think it's a 250. Yeah, but his clutch pedal broke off. So, well, initially I saw him. It's in the pitch dark. I mean, you can't really see off of the highway. I just happened to see him with the little bit of light that there was. Let it slow down. This is where I got around here is where I got my last ticket. So I stopped, asked him if he needed help. He was fairly new to riding. Previously, before that, he said he had a scooter, which is totally not much like a bike. I don't even think any scooters actually have clutches, do they? But, so that was his first actual motorcycle. So he was fairly new. Oh, I gotta get gas. So he was fairly new to it. He was just asking me little things like, can't see. He was asking me things like miles per hour. He actually didn't know that there was a reserve switch for the fuel. He saw it and he thought it was for oil, which I don't understand what the reasoning behind that would have been. Full up. Just realized one thing. I forgot to empty the water out of my radiator. I left it in while I put the new coolant in. I don't think it would be too bad. I mean, there's some in there. Majority of it is coolant. But I'll definitely change that soon when I buy the new radiator. But back to what I was saying, yeah, that guy thought that the reserve switch was for his oil. I'm not really sure. I'm not really understanding the logic behind that. But I showed him how to do that. He was actually surprised and just was like, wow. Well, that saves a lot of anxiety. I mean, if you run out, you always have that that little bit of safety, knowing that you have a little bit of extra gas just to get to the gas station. So I was explaining a lot of little things like that to him, but his bolt that held the what was that? Like smog or something. But his bolt that held the clutch pedal in actually snapped, so he needed a new bolt. So I told him that I could go get my tool set, some extra stuff, see what I can do, help him out. My friend took me back to the dorms, just maybe 3 miles down the road. Picked up some tools. I actually keep my tools in a backpack, an old backpack. I'm in the process of trying to like find a good tool box bag, kind of. So right now I use. No, this is actually where I got pulled over. Right here. Right in this spot right here. So right now I use an old backpack for my tools, which I mean it works. It's not fancy or anything, but it works. Yeah, so I came back on the bike, drove back on my bike to him. I ended up, well, I couldn't find a bolt, screw that would fit in there, or a bolt. So I ended up using his, but taking, I think, a washer or two out so that it had more room, but just enough to that I could tighten it on there, just to maybe get him home, which was in Tucson, which is about an hour and 30 minutes away from here, I think. But I told him not to put too much strain on the clutch pedal. So, well, he is actually new to that. He went from Tucson to Phoenix earlier. I guess he just filled up in Tucson. Came to Maricopa, broke down. He was thinking that he was going to make it back on what little gas he had. I was like, no. I doubt that you'll make it to Tucson. You should probably just follow me to I could show you where the gas station is, fill up. But he still has to. He didn't have a gas gauge on that either, or it was broken. I don't remember, but there was no way for him to tell how much gas he had. So, I mean, I shook it, looked through the cap. It was pretty low. It was basically going to be on reserve, but now he knew how to use reserve. Still wouldn't have made it. I doubt it. I doubt he would have been able to make it. So I took him to the gas station. He filled up. Threw me a couple of bucks for helping. So math is over. This is just really irritating. So I do my math online. It's Pearson's MyLabs Plus. So typically I'll do my homework on Tuesdays. There will usually be 3 sections, and then depending on if there's a test or quiz or something, there will be a review. But we just took a test, so I had to do a review last time, but I always like find out last minute. So I'm doing my homework assignments, plus after that, then I'm like, oh crap. So then there's like a review with 30 to 50, no, not usually 30, usually like 50 questions. And all of the assignments are due by midnight. Usually I get finished around 11:20, 30. I start at around 9 or 10. Then last minute, there's like 30 minutes left. I'm like just flooded with more questions for the review. It happened 3 times in a row now. Like, I guess I had one that I had to do a review for, I guess, quizzes or something. Then I had one for a big test over a bunch of chapters. Now I had one for midterm, which I totally forgot about. I think I did miss my midterm. I think my midterm was today. I hope it was. No, I hope it wasn't. For my math, actually didn't show up today. I was just exhausted. I mean, I was falling asleep in the class prior to that, so I took a nap after. I didn't even eat lunch. Went straight from my morning class to my room, took a nap. My alarm went off for to eat lunch before my class. I just skipped it. Class time was about there. I was just like, no, I cannot do this. So I ended up sleeping, taking a nap, a 3-hour nap. So I was just too tired. Hopefully my midterm hopefully it's on Thursday. Wait, it's today? Yeah, hopefully it's on Thursday. If not, then I'm screwed, kind of. It always feels nice, this weather. Maybe it's probably about 60 something outside. It's always nice after hitting the gym. Like, you're all sweaty and sticky and gross. I jumped in the shower at the gym before I left. I think you still feel a little gross. I just rinse off. But then my friend's house is a little warm. It's a little chilly, but it feels great. Bearable. Until you reach the farmland, then it's cold, cold, cold. Or this desert with no streets. But it's about maybe 20-30 minutes after midnight now. I didn't even get to finish that math midterm review. I guess, well, I got close, minus like 5 questions. It just cut off. I guess it ends at 11:59 instead of 12. I was just about to finish one more. This is annoying. One thing I really hate is the pressure points, the pressure, I don't know what they are, pressure pads in the streets that would basically change the light from red to green if you're trying to cross at a red light. Those basically pressure points, and they have them at like apartments or any gated community. I just really hate those. I mean, they don't take into consideration for bikes. They're not sensitive enough. It is like impossible. Like, some of them are just impossible to detect. The one thing I did find useful for some of them is if you can see the pressure point, the pressure pad on the street, like the cracks, then you just position yourself horizontally instead of facing straight. Face like kind of, well, usually gated communities, face yourself like totally on the pad. So instead of facing straight ahead vertically, turn horizontally the whole bike, and sometimes that'll work. Sometimes at stoplights I can usually get it to go if I go directly in the center of the road, even though you might get oil on the tires. If not, then I'll try to like move around, try to find a better position, try jumping a little bit. That works too, but it's just really irritating. Like, especially when you have a schedule and you're trying to get somewhere. This light up here is one of those. If I drive on either side, left or right, it won't go. I have to actually pull up to it in the middle, or it won't change. This light straight ahead. I don't know. That's just one of the few things that kind of gets on my nerves. It's just annoying. Right now, when I was leaving, my friend lives in a gated community. I could not get that gate to open. Usually I'll just do the horizontal thing, but it would not budge, and I was pretty. I would say I was there for at least 5 minutes until I just. So a few times I just rammed the gate, but some of them are locked. Well, there's a bar in the back that pulls the gate, but it's straight. So if you hit into it, it won't work. So you have to actually bend the post, kind of. It's like a joint. It's a post joint. So I ended up bending the post joint for the entrance. So basically the cars that would come in instead of out. And then I got it to open that way. So I exited out through the entrance. This is how I just drove right now. That's the only way I can get this pressure pad to pick me up in order to turn the light green. Dick. Cannot see. That was another motorcyclist. Yeah, he really needs to adjust his lights. They are way too high up. I know mine are low, actually too low right now. But that's just because like of the crash, and I can't. It's just not adjusting. So I mean, I can see somewhat in front of me. Not to where it's supposed to be, but.